Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here to get through episode 49, 50, and 51 of Love Island UK season 11. And with me to do so is Mika. How are you today, Mika?
I am okay. This show can't get out of its own way, can it?
Well, I think that they are lost in the sauce. Or I might have said this analogy to you before, but sometimes you can't read the label from inside the bottle. I think that they're inside the bottle. They just can't see how bad it is. They just don't have the right perspective.
We're Wednesday before the finale, and this show is shit. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
I mean, and then it's like I'm trying not to compare it to USA, but it is so hard right now because we just came off an amazing season. So it's like, just like I feel like those producers were like, okay, we'll get out of our own way. We'll get out. They read the label.
Yeah, they could see they had perspective.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think might be indicative, and you can maybe speculate on this as well, is I was watching Miguel have an interview. Miguel from season 6 of USA on who's on Ryan Bailey's podcast.
Watch that one.
And he said that he was actually approached from both Love Island producers, so both the UK and the USA. And he said he chose the USA because the way the producers were treating him.
Absolutely.
And that is interesting to me, that he had both opportunities and he chose the right opportunity for him and the more successful show because the way the producers were treating him. And
absolutely.
Me, that's saying that the producers from this season that have done the casting, they don't have the winning formula. They don't have the foresight as to what's going to create a great show. They don't know how to approach the people that would be great for the season. It would make them want to join. And so this to me said that there's a problem with the producers.
Absolutely. So I have been saying this. I think that the producers do not value their people of color. And I mean, and to be fair, Miguel is white presenting. So that's great.
He looks ambiguous, but he doesn't look black, but he looks ambiguous. Yeah.
But they usually like their light brights and their biracials and Miguel is an excellent character, right? But can you imagine him walking into this UK villa? He would have got dumped. He would have gotten dumped. Maybe he would have hooked up maybe with Uma, but he wasn't looking for, like, the vibe is totally different. He did the right thing. His choice was our game.
I mean, we said when he came onto that season of USA, we're just like, whoever found Miguel needs to get a raise. Yeah. Right? And whoever talked with Miguel and lost him for the UK needs to get fired, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Like this guy has 650 or so million or 1,000 followers now on Instagram from doing a show outside of his home country. Right. That's a mess. That is a mess.
It's a mess. And I really need the producers to start looking at themselves. I know they don't care. They're still going to get their views, but eventually people will stop watching. So
yeah, well, especially since a lot of people that are diehard UK fans, they're like, oh, it's hard to really stand up and support this season, especially against the USA season.
Because you see a glimpse of because I'm not saying the people who've come on are terrible, except for a safe few. But you see the potential. You see the potential of what could happen if you broaden your mind in the UK, right? And they just refuse. They refuse.
I mean, another thing too is that I don't think that they're allowing, or the votes, the way that the public vote aren't in alignment with what I want. right? That it's either that, because remember, we really wanted Kendall and Nicole to understand how we felt about them, and we wanted our
Correct.
voice to be heard through our
Correct.
vote. And I feel like if our voice was heard through our vote, Joey would be off of our screens. Sean would be off of our screens. There's no way that people are voting for them in droves,
They're
right?
not. They're not.
Right?
And we see it tonight. We saw with the challenge that they did tonight. They are not. And there are so many comments. They got Ofcom comments in the last 2 days because of what they've been doing. They got comments. If you look on their IG page, if you look on their Twitter page, they're good. I haven't looked on Facebook, but they're getting comments that it is clear people see what they are doing and they do not like it anymore. Right? It's no longer for drama. It's no longer for entertainment. It is clear what they are doing. And if a vote was to be held, those two people would be gone. But they made sure that no vote was held, and they dumped another person of color.
Well, yeah, we knew that was coming, right? There was way too many
Way too many
people
in the villa at this point.
We got a couple friends joining us today. Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi, Jessica.
Yes.
All right, so let's just get to episode 49. So this was Monday's episode. We are coming back from after the Grofties, where we see Mimi talking with Nicole and Matilda. And Matilda is like doesn't understand where Sean's coming from, because like when he speaks to her directly, he makes sense and she understands his perspective, and then he's always acting so differently, supporting Joey. Nicole thinks that he's backing Joey all the time, and Matilda thinks he's annoying. I'm not sorry, and Mimi thinks he's annoying. All true. Like, can we just get rid of them? Like, I can't look at his face anymore. I can't. He is so maddening to me. And I know you're in the chat this morning or this afternoon when I was just like, they need somebody with a harsher tongue in there, because these boys need to understand to not be speaking so much. And nobody's really shutting them down enough for them to actually zip it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right now and Love Island's trending, not in a good way. It's not a good way. Like, they're not listening. I'm wondering if they will listen tonight, but I don't think so. They have steered themselves into a course that they refuse to. I mean, because we could see clearly tonight, some producer talked to him. Sean.
Okay. You think?
Yes. And so the fact that he still kept carrying on, because at the end of the day, I feel it's not even at this point about the principle. It's literally about the game. And I personally feel Jesse and Sean do not care about their partners enough that they can even scale, understand what they're doing to scale back. Because I feel like the way that Josh and Ayo are responding in a way that, you know what, I care about my partner. I value my connection. I value my partner and what they're feeling. And you are making them feel like shit. I need you to stop, which is the only reason why I'm coming after you for what you're doing. Right. And I feel like because Sean and Joey don't care about their partners, they can't even value that to say to themselves, you know what, we're making Mimi and Jess feel like shit. Let's stop. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely. And what I'm just wondering, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but are both of them maybe a bit slow? Like maybe like just not understanding?
We know Joey's slow.
Like, cause it's giving dense. It's giving have some perspective. It's giving where's the empathy? It's giving like you got really upset, Joey, when somebody called. What did they call him? Did they say he was stupid?
Oh, they didn't say stupid. Ruben said he was. Oh, he didn't say he was slow, but he said he was something close to slow. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. But to be fair, I really do think it's that they're both playing a game at this point. I don't even think it's just them being slow. We know Joey's slow. I've been saying that Sean has been playing the game since the day he dumped Omar. Since that day.
Yeah, he's like, I need to win this.
Correct.
He's literally the worst. The worst. So Josh was rattled. He's talking to Kieran and Ruben about just seeing the clip with Mimi. And I'm just wondering, like, I get that the producers might want to show this for the drama of it all, but like, wasn't there anything else they could have showed? Like, why did they need to bring it up again? We knew it was going to happen, but why do you think that they need to drag this story out?
I don't know, except for that Mimi is the star. They don't want to acknowledge that Mimi's the star, but everything that they do is tied to Mimi at this point.
It's true.
Every storyline is tied to Mimi.
Yeah.
They cutting in and out of her love and story, connection story for tying other people to her. So you don't want to acknowledge it because she's a dark-skinned Black woman, but she's your star. You're not going to allow her to win, but she's your star.
Yeah, maybe they think that tearing her down is going to prop them up, but it's actually just making her shine more.
It absolutely is. I am telling you this. I haven't looked at Facebook today, but from what I have seen, even the white people are backing Mimi.
I mean, you've got to at this point.
Yeah,
like,
you are backing Mimi because she is the star. You created a storyline that's all tied to her. It's like little octopus tentacles that come out of her.
And it's kind of also what happened with Janae and Serena. You know, all those guys wanted them out. They didn't think that they deserved love. You know, they're saying that, like, is that the type of woman that you wanted to marry? Like, that kind of attitude about them. And it actually just allowed them to shine more, just in the way that they respond to who they are as people, allowed them to react and then have the story be all about them. The season was all about PPG. You know what I mean?
Which is why, I don't know if it's spoilers, so I won't say what
we're gonna say.
Okay, mini spoiler right here. Which is why I felt like they should have been 1-2. Oh, and while I do feel like Leah's story was also a factor, like I think it was like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and then like everybody else. Right? I feel like the other two storylines were harder compared to Leah. Leah was always a point of being chosen, coming, whether she wanted that person or not. She was always a point of, oh, I want Leah. And people
didn't have to overcome racism. Like,
correct.
Really, like she definitely had a struggle and a journey, but she didn't have to overcome the racism of the potential suitors and potentially the public, but potentially the producers. Like they didn't have to overcome all those things. So yes, I totally agree with you with the placement reflecting that. But
but I'm glad at least they were top 3. But at the end of the day, that was why I felt the way I felt. And it's also the reason why I wanted a certain couple to come one, because my thing is we had never seen a storyline quite like theirs. We've seen Janae's storyline, right? Like, and it's not against Janae, because the storyline is built on the fact that Black women in these situations, every reality TV situation, are usually undesirable.
That's absolutely that's the role that you go on to play. The best friend that's undesirable, that gets dumped, and everybody's sad for them.
Exactly. And so to see something else where not only is the woman not undesirable, she's very desirable. She's also a type of woman to stand on her truth and not give a hell what other people have to say to her. That is why I wanted that person to win. So at the end of the day, I feel also very similarly about Mimi. Mimi has really, like, love or hate some of her actions, I don't really understand why. She really has stood in her truth, right? She really has gone with how she's felt, whether emotionally or just at the time, and the choices may not have been my choices, but I'm gonna stick beside her, because my whole thing is always other people get to do it. Why shouldn't she be able to get to do it? And I feel like that journey has now blossomed into, to me, one of the most genuine connections in the villa right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and it ended up
I can
being,
see them all trying to like, but those two trying to make things work outside the villa. I do feel
yes,
like it's genuine.
yes,
And Dreadful Ruby here is saying it makes relationships so hard. Sorry, so hard to buy. Like, there's no way that Matilda still likes Sean. She
no
probably
way,
doesn't know she has
no
to
way.
stick with
She
him.
has
So
the ick. She has the ick.
there's no way that she doesn't. Um, just jumping ahead a little bit to today's
Mhm.
episode, or is it today's? Whatever day they did that, yeah, today's, where these sexual compatibility and like I know she just didn't want to be defending. Oh yeah, like I don't think she wanted to be having anybody picture them having sex. I didn't
No,
think she wanted to picture them having sex.
no.
Like I was grossed out with putting them in that position.
Yeah.
So with his smarmy sweet talk.
Ugh.
Mm, mm,
So,
mm.
so at the end of the day, like with Mimi, I feel like at, Sean and Joey have just really created this snowball that can't be stopped. And um I just feel like the producers, instead of just being like, okay, we're gonna stop it, they've allowed it to continue. And I have to question why they're doing that, other than she is the story. You just don't
But
want her to win.
well, or if they don't allow this to keep going, then they have to dump them. Right?
Correct.
Like, because they
Correct.
don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
Now Dreadful doesn't think that Jesse liked Joey very much. I don't know because
I don't know about that, girl. I
I would
actually
not be
think
able to
she
stand
likes
by him
her.
and put my head on his shoulder when he's acting like a loser.
The
Sorry,
fact
like
that she had so much mouth during the grafties, like, come on, like, because I would just sit there and be like,
yeah, we're done.
yeah, like, no, I really do think she likes that man. I really do think she backs him. I really do think she agrees with some of his bullshit. Kind of the same thing Matilda does, but the thing with Matilda is you can tell she gets the ick because Sean just is not
If
wow.
if Sean was rich and famous on the outside world, maybe she could blind herself to getting the
Yeah,
ick. But the
yeah,
fact that he's just a nobody, to be
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
like it's
I mean,
just
or
like
he looked like Ruben. I mean, so at the end of the day, too, I also feel like, um, while it pissed me off that they showed the clip, I think it worked out in Mimi and
I think
John's
she
favor
defended it very well.
perfectly well.
I was like, because I even said, I'm like, okay, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Because
And I
like they could have
actually
made her look
think,
bad.
and I actually think because everything is now out in the open, he's not going to feel like a dickhead coming out, that he will cut off the connection. I actually think that they could continue the connection with no problem.
Yeah, and it allowed it to be. It's kind of like Casa Moore was seeing movie night. You see
Mhm.
everything,
Yes.
and because like before, Aaron, for instance, on the USA, Aaron was like not telling the whole truth about what happened with him and Casa Moore, and then more things came out that he had to apologize for. More things came out that he had to apologize for. But if he came out of the villa and he
Mhm.
hadn't apologized and everything been actually out in the open, I mean, I don't think that there'd be any chance for them to reconcile.
No.
Not that I want them to, but it's just like,
Yeah.
um,
And as I had said, she already described exactly what she did,
yeah.
and that's what was shown. So also, I think in the end, Joey did say, oh, well, I think I helped you. Yes, you might have helped them, not because that's what you were trying to do. You're trying to break them up, but you helped them, but then leave it, drop it. If you were trying to help them, leave it and drop it, right? But they refused to, which tells me you also was not trying to help them.
Well, we knew that. We knew that for sure. Rachel says, "Hi, ladies." The microaggressions, low key,
Rachel,
macro. I think high key,
high
macro
key, high
are
key.
too much.
Yeah, it's over. I'm over it. I'm over it. I put a comment on the IG page today after seeing today, and 795 likes on my comments.
What'd you
Usually
say?
I get maybe
20.
30
Yeah. Okay.
to 100. 795 comments. And this is all I said. All I said was I rate Josh so much because they keep baiting him and for trying to protect Mimi's feelings. Io went up for actually backing Josh. Sean and Joey do not care about their partners and are only playing the game, which is why they can't understand where Josh and Io are coming from. How simple was my comment?
Very.
795 likes.
Well, I'm gonna go find it and repost it. Jennifer Ruby says, maybe I just can't buy that anyone likes him. He's 34 for fuck's sakes. That's him as a grown man. Absolutely. I can't buy it.
Well, a mini article came out today, and if you know that he's gone on Celebs Go Dating, right? The one of the what is he, coaches or whoever he is on there, Paul Brunson, who I follow. He's a black man. He's of Jamaican descent. His wife is also black and Jamaican, and they are from the U.S., but they moved to the U.K. And he does that show, and he does Married at First Sight UK. And apparently, they got into it because Joey made a lot of racial comments. And so not surprising.
Not surprising. And he probably thinks it's funny. And you're like, oh, it's funny, man. It's funny. It's funny. Exactly. And it's like, it's not funny to me.
It's not funny.
Like, just because it's funny to you doesn't mean it doesn't offend me, you asshole. There's another comment on the Daily Mail, another article, and it's basically saying that people are fuming. So during Sunday night episode, 253 viewers issued a complaint to broadcasting regulator about Joey and Sean Stone's treatment towards their fellow Islanders during the Grofties Awards. Ofcom confirmed that the complaints were related to the duo's behavior towards some of their contestants. Tons of the other fans are also slammed the player on Twitter for continuously pot stirring and meddling in their rivals' relationships. Throughout his journey on the ITV dating show, Joey has caused a divide over his behavior in his friendships and relationships, with some branding him a master manipulator. Joey came under fire when he revealed Mimi's secret mission, meddled with ex-fling Grace Jackson's couple, and disregarded Jesse Potts. So that was just part of an article in the Daily Mail about like how people are not happy with them. According to the sign, a total of 55 complaints were written in. I think that's after, with Ofcom confirming many related to Nicole Samuel is at. Oh, okay, no, it was about Nicole, but yeah. So at least we know people are complaining enough for it to make the news, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's gone overboard at this point.
Well, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of like we're allowing people to be flogged, you know,
over and over and over.
Yeah. Rachel also agrees that the clip was good for Mimi because it was different. It wasn't how Joey described it. Yes.
It was not how he described it. Everybody's like, I mean, it's not a great thing to see, but but also it's not what you're saying. It doesn't even look like what you're saying. Like even Jess said that he, like in this episode, she's like, okay, yeah, no, it wasn't great to see, but it's not even like what you're saying. So leave it. Like, why are you doing this?
Sorry, another title of an article is Love Island fans slam ultimate pot stirrers Joey and Sean as they claim the sweet salesman is desperate and begging for Towie Star's approval.
Yeah. No, there's no other reason why, because they were sitting here and it's that meme. There's always two bitches on the side telling each other exactly, or two birds on the side and telling each other exactly. Yeah, that's that.
Oh, wow. So hold on. Ricky here says, I sent a complaint in today because I cannot bear to see Joey and Sean's bullshit anymore. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's good. It's actually really good. I think they need to get some complaints here, you know?
Yeah. At this point, I need them both dumped. I need them both out the villa. I know that's not possible because we need 4 couples to go into the finale.
Do we?
But
let's have 3.
I mean, obviously. But at this point, I hope people show in their votes, because that's the only way what happened tonight should not have happened, in my opinion, because if you voted properly, there wouldn't even have been a chance for one of them to come out of it, right? Because you would see it on the app. It was just like how we saw on the app the order of USA, and we're like, okay, like we're upset because
we're good.
Right, we're good, but also we're upset because Serena and Cordell think we hate them, and that they just made it into the finale, whereas that week they came in number one for sure because we voted on the app. So it's like, it's kind of not fair, because it's like, what's going on, but it also is like they did this random poll and not everybody saw the poll, and then people were
the producers decided to use that information to be reason to dump, not being dumped by our vote, basically.
Correct.
Just also with this article, it says Sean is really trying hard to stir the pot like his big brother, Joey. Joey and Sean are genuinely baffling. Joey and Sean are desperate to stir the pot to make their couples look stronger, and because they think the public love it since they keep being voted in the top. Get them out. Teacher and student, Joey and Sean talking about the assignment on how to stir the pot. Yeah, so they'll see.
Yeah, at this point, I wanted them out the villa, but you guys got to vote for Mimi and Josh and Io and Jess, and that's the only way that we can get at least one of these people out. Like, there's.
Oh my God, you come back around on Joey.
At least I think their Io and Jess's. I never said that their connection wasn't genuine. I just don't like Io, and he said stop fucking with Mimi, so I'm okay, right? Like today, like I said, he went up a point today because like he actually came over and backed Josh, because at the end of the day, it does have to do with him, right? But before he used to just let whatever was happening because Joey and Sean are his friends, so he was just letting everybody else get caught in the crossfire, and he deaded that today. Like, you have to stop. Like, at this point, we've all said, all four of us that are in this connection have already said it is over, and you keep bringing it up.
Well, again, like if it was like a court of law type of thing, and the ruling was final, they would not be allowed to legally talk about the situation anymore. So shut up. So Io, Sean, and Joey are talking, and Joey's just, so poor me. Everybody's just sticking it on me, and like, what? Like, so you can't stir the pot or truth tell and have people have a reaction to what you're saying without you crying victim. Like, that's another part of it that irritates me, is that like, what did I do? I was just telling the truth.
Yeah. And you know what pissed me off also? There was a million people who actually agreed with him. Why is Joey getting the blowback from this? Why? Like, it's Mimi who did it, and she was going up there for a kiss, and she was doing this, and I was so mad. Like, I stayed out of the comments that day, but that, again, it's like, you guys, if you can't, then now, because now the comments are different because they're still bullying them. So it's like people were mad because Joey was getting the blowback, but the reason why he's getting the blowback is because it's unnecessary, and it's continued. Like, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
And if I were in that villa, I would feel that I was being targeted and feel like, okay, sure, maybe there was feelings at one point, but we've decided to move on from whatever that is, and we've spoken about it with our respective couples, and that situation's in the past. And then you keep on bringing it up again. It's like, well, what do you want me to say about it? I've moved on from that situation. There were feelings in the past, and I'm working towards something with my new couple. And then you bring it up again. Okay, why are you bringing it up again? I've told you we had feelings together in the past. We had a conversation. We figured out where we both stood and what we wanted to focus on. It's in the past, and then bring it up again. Like, what new? Something new is not going to happen here. It's just annoying.
It is annoying.
And also, and anybody goes like this and keeps on poking at you, it starts to hurt. It does, even if it's the lightest poke. So,
or even if there's some sort of truth base to it, like what is the point in bringing up something that's been dead now?
To torture them.
Correct, and that's what it feels like. It feels like they want to torture them. Yeah, like we still have 1, 2.
3, 4.
Four more episodes.
Matthew, there's still 4 more episodes.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel says, oh yeah, we talked about that and that already. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Matthew. I mean, I don't know where you are on the season right now, but you got a lot more to go, I think. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Jesse then pulls Joey and asks him, like, so how do you think that went? And he's like, oh, it's just so easy to shoot the messenger. And I'm just like, I can't take, if you're going to be a pot stirrer, you're going to be the truth teller, I can't also have you be the victim.
Correct.
Like, it just, you got to pick a lane, right? Like, you got, if you're going to be the ultimate villain and you're just going to pot stir and you're going to bring everybody's shit to the surface, you can't be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know people are going to react to like me being an asshole.
Right. And so, like, that is again how you know he's playing the game, because I will give Messy Mitch this shit. He never did that.
I would take Messy Mitch any day over these two.
Right. And I mean, and I'm not saying that he didn't play games to try to get people out the villa. I'm saying that he didn't make himself the victim.
Yeah, he didn't. He's just like, he just stood in it, and you're just like, oh, you're such a dick, but at least he stood in it. I would be furious if he was like going to start whining about it after.
Right.
I do like that Jesse at least walked off and says, okay, I'm tapping out. So I was hoping that like maybe she'd stand on business for longer than 10 minutes, but I don't know. I guess the hope for a People magazine spread or whatever is popular for them over there is keeping Jesse in the game, because like there is nothing about him physically and how he's acting in this villa that I find to be remotely attractive. Like nothing.
Not
like,
personality, not looks.
Not his teeth.
I'm sorry. There's no amount of money in the world. But you know, I'm very Serena like in that I don't give a fuck about your money. No. If I don't like you, I don't like you.
If I don't like you, I don't like you. Oh my god,
I'm not gonna take it.
Like I have so many friends I remember in the past that would be like, you know, there's like some rich guys that will invite us to their boats or whatever, and they'll be sunbathing topless on these annoying, ugly guys' boats. And I'm just like, guys, I can't do it. I can't stand them. Like, I don't care if I'm going to be on a yacht for the day and drinking Cristal. Like, I can't be in their company.
No.
And so I would not be able to well, if I was around Joey, I would be putting him in his place all the time. And he would not want to be around me because like I have a big mouth. A big mouth. Oh, yes, Jennifer Ruby, he has major small dick energy for sure. And you know how you know that? Because of how much he is threatened by the fact that Grace likes black men. Because we know what the stigma is, or the saying is, what the rumors be heard about how well endowed most black men may be. And so I think that's one of the major reasons why she's like, well, no, she doesn't like him. She's with me. And she's like, but you're not my type. She settled for you, Joey. Yep. She settled for you. And I'm sure that I don't think he's well endowed. I don't.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah. People, big dick energy doesn't act like that. Same with Sean, you know? So Ruben does go and talk to Joey, and Joey, how dismissive and disrespectful was he to Ruben too? And Ruben was just trying to be like, hey, like, you know, just think about your girls, da 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 da. And Ruben and Joey's just like brushing him off, flipping him off, and be like, he doesn't want him to say anything, to speak less. Like he just won't even let Ruben say anything to him.
Yeah,
so rude.
Just ridiculous. And he's trying to give him. Oh, I know better than you. I treat my girl better than you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not at all. Not even anything close.
Not at all. So Sean then goes and tries to talk to Nicole, Matilda, and Mimi. I don't remember the scene right now. And then Kieran also thinks that Sean is a shit stirrer. He is. At least Kieran can recognize this. Sean thinks that he would have Sean's argument. Well, how annoying was this? He was like, well, if I was a shit star, I would have won more
They
medals.
won
I
the
would have won
award.
more awards.
I would have won
Like,
more awards. And I
well,
was like,
you know what?
do you see what y'all are doing? He should, because when I was looking at it, he should have won those awards. But I said that. I said, like, while I think that Joey is an issue, I feel like the person who should have won them is Sean, because he needed to see that he's a jerk. I mean, we see, like, because now you see him looking at it today and like, oh yeah, well, it seems like we're getting all the negative things. Yes, I wonder why.
Yay. At least now you see it. I would have won all the awards. Yeah, you're going to win all the Biggest Loser awards for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that Josh was like, when he was expressing how he was feeling to Mimi, he was really calm, he was really respectful. I think he was showing how he was feeling without making her feel bad, just basically saying that he knows that what she's told him, but it didn't feel good seeing it. And he wishes that she didn't have to hide it. And I thought that was respectful.
Yeah, and like I think I said it before, she already had told him that she had to have a conversation with Ayo. She thought she could not do it in front of everybody because it was going to cause more issues than anything.
Well, and I hope she learned that was not the way to do it.
Right. And so, I mean, she's how old? 20 something. You live, you learn, you get loves. So at the end of the day, you know, she just, and I do think he was also right in telling her, like, I just don't want you to keep it a secret from me. Like, I know you had to have the conversation because we discussed it, but I just don't want you to keep, like, feel like you have to keep things from me to protect me, or, you know, whatever you were trying to do, because at the end of the day, it hurts us, because we're a team. Like, it just basically gave them ammunition against both of us, and I'm trying to also protect you. And I do think that she didn't get that. Like, he was trying to protect. I think she gets it now, right? Like, I don't think she was getting it then, that it wasn't just about his feelings, because I think she just was putting it on, well, he just feels that way, and I don't want to hurt him, but I also know I need to get this done. But it wasn't just about his feelings. He was trying to protect you guys as a collective.
100%. And he's also been experiencing all the shit from those guys. And it's just like, well, you sneaking around is going to make them feel as though what they're saying is right. And I'm just the one that's in the dark here. So, like, it would have been better, in my opinion, and probably Josh's anyways as well, being like, hey, Josh, I have to go and have that conversation with Joey right now. That's what's going on the daybed. Like, please don't take it any other way other than me just clearing the air completely and getting on the same page.
Yep.
Just let them know and go do it, or even go do it on the terrace then. But, like, if she just had the conversation right before it was happening, I don't think it would have been a big deal.
Yeah.
Hi, Kay. Thanks for joining. We're just, on some rants about how Joey and Sean need to be dumped. Sean thinks that he still should be allowed to speak. He still should be able to speak his piece. Like, why? Why do you need to be heard?
Oh, Nicole, you always have opinions about stuff. She's like, yeah, when it's necessary, but I don't keep going on and on and on about it. And to be fair to Nicole, she does it.
No, not when it's other people's stuff, but maybe
That's what I'm
hers.
saying.
Maybe hers, she might, like, drag out a little bit. Actually, she doesn't. You know what? She's always like, okay, I'm annoyed, but okay, it's done now. It's dead. We're dead. It's done. We're good. We're good. Even though it might be lingering back here, but she doesn't let it go on too long. And why aren't people egging her on anymore, being like, oh, do you think that there's still something going on between Kieran and Grace? Like, because his heart did go up for her in the challenge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why aren't they doing that?
That's why I'm saying that nothing Mimi has done, because even when people are getting mad at her, nothing Mimi has done has warranted people giving her such ire compared to everything else that other people in this villa have done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's bedtime, and in the morning we see Sean bringing Matilda a drink. Ruben also comes over and hugs Matilda. Nicole, Matilda, and Mimi are chatting, and she isn't going to just back Sean because they're in a couple. And I think that she likes like, ooh, good. I don't have to like be all lovey-dovey with him because I can't stand him.
I can put some separation because what was it? Ruben's like, oh, how was your night? Do you get color? She's like, no. I'm like, I wonder why. Stop being a jackass. Nobody wants to cuddle with a jackass.
Who called them Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
It was Jesse. It was the girls.
It was Nicole, Mimi, and Matilda were chatting. I wonder which one said it.
No. I think it was Jesse and Grace. I think because Jesse
I didn't write it with them, but
yeah, I think it was Jesse.
Well, I wrote it underneath Nicole, Matilda, and Mimi. So, I could be wrong, but next we see Josh and Sean having a conversation. I'm like, I can't hear him speak anymore. Sean thinks that everybody would be better off if they were being honest. And you know what, Sean? Everybody's being honest with you that they need you to stop bringing this shit up. And you don't seem to want to listen to their honesty. Like, it's hurting my feelings. Why do you get to decide what I need to be thinking about or be you talking about? Why does he get to decide that? He's such a dick.
Why does only your truth get to stand? Why can't other people say their truth? I mean, Kieran said it. Why is it that you get to say whatever truth you want to, but you're getting mad at me because I'm telling you my truth, which is you need to shut the fuck up and leave them alone? I'm not getting mad. Where am I getting mad? Do you see me getting mad? Yes.
Yeah, you're like, well, it would have been a word if I was doing a bad thing. Yeah, they needed to show all the votes numbers. You know what I mean? Like to see that they were like this, and everybody else
wasn't far off.
Exactly. Jesse and Grace are having a conversation and they don't think that Joey makes sense. I'm like, hey, good. Like, this is a good way to think. Why Jesse changes her mind and goes back on this, I have no idea. But at least they realize that Joey doesn't make any sense. And Grace is probably in her head like, I know, but you want to be with him, Jesse.
Yeah.
Even Sean's shorts were pissing off Matilda. Those highlighter yellow shorts.
I would like Matilda if she just wasn't with Sean. I'm telling you the truth. Even with all her her shit that she's done and her shit talking and her shit stirring, I would definitely like her 10 times as better if she was not with Sean.
Oh, 100%. If she was with what was the guy's name? Troy?
Omar? Oh.
I don't know if her and Omar would have actually got along. I'm not sure if she's actually into him, but I would have rather seen her try with anybody else, I think.
Yeah.
Kieran does pull Sean or vice versa. And still sticks to what he said. And Kieran's just like, you pipe up to stir the pot. And so they're not, like, Kieran at least is standing on business. He's truthful and he's not afraid to say it to Sean. And Sean, for some reason, doesn't keep going and going and going with Kieran. Isn't that interesting? He doesn't just, he lets it go. It's interesting.
Yeah. And even somebody said, why isn't he bringing up, certain other people in these conversations but he is going after a particular certain level of people. Yep, I agree. I also think that it has definitely caused a rift between, I don't know if Kieran ever cared for Joey. I've never seen him be like really up Joey's ass like everybody else, to be fair. Right. But
I have no idea who he is. So he's just like, he's just a loser.
Right. But I do think it has caused a rift between him and Sean, who I do think he was friends with at some point. And you can see that after this, he has definitely grown closer to Josh and Ruben.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. He definitely likes them more. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So we get
and we also know it's very close to Ayo as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, he does look like he could have a little eighth in him. I don't know if you would have chosen Nicole if that's the case, but looks wise, You might be able to hang. So Sean and Matilda's families show up. They basically, Sean was talking about to his family that this week has been tough. His family says stop getting involved. And at least they're giving, like, some people that know him, that have been watching from the outside, are calling him on his bullshit and says, stop getting involved. You do not need to be the truth doctor, or truth detective, or whatever you think that you are.
This side that you're doing. Yep. And do you think he listened?
No. He does ask how Sweets is. I guess they didn't have the heart to tell him that people have been sending negative reviews, apparently, and so it's temporarily shut down, unfortunately. I don't know if that's don't smile.
I think I called that. I said, I hope his shot. You know what?
I mean, I don't necessarily like getting like 1-star reviews for being on a TV show. But at least it's just like a candy shop, right? It's not like doctors being come for, like people in, you know, like wellness things, where, you know what I mean? I think that a candy store can recover from this a lot more easily than like a doctor's reputation or whatever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, I mean, he'll come out, he'll make amends.
Yeah. But yeah, the sweet man is not so sweet. I love his sister saying, I didn't realize how bad your chat was.
Good job, sister.
And he's also like, oh, you're so sassy. I mean, not that his sister's into him, but she got the ick from him for sure. She's just like, ugh.
Listen, yeah, I mean, and who could blame her? He's just icky.
With Matilda and her family, talks about how he keeps on getting involved in everybody's business. And then Matilda and her sister all go join Sean and his family. I just wrote down that they all hugged. I didn't really write down if anything else happened. Do you have anything else to say?
No. I mean, over like I didn't even want them there, so so I need about this villa.
So Ruben and Grace are next. Ruben's mom is so proud of you. I guess his sister was joining, I think. And his grandpa apparently has been watching, which he was amused by. Grace's dad, so Grace's mom and dad are both there and sitting with her, and Joey walks by, and Grace's father calls Joey over. I wish he had said something like, why are you so disrespectful to my daughter? I wish
Or why are you obsessed with my daughter?
Yeah. Yeah, why are you still talking to my daughter?
Yeah.
Because
I'm watching you.
Yeah, it needed to give something else, because Joey took it, in my opinion, as like, oh, like Grace is so obsessed with me that she had to have her father call me over to meet me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's not what it was at all. I think it was him trying to check you, but he kind of got soft.
Correct. I agree with that one.
So, because Grace, so maybe they haven't been updated on how he's treated her, but the mom was like, oh, so I should have maybe pushed him in the pool. And I'm like, oh, that would have been lovely. I mean, it would have been
I'm sure he would have sued. But...
Yeah, exactly. It would have been inappropriate, assault world, but that would have been lovely.
It would have.
They do like Ruben, they say. And I think it's funny with the dad that's saying that he's never won an argument with Grace. I mean, I get it. So when he meets Ruben, the dad's like, oh, you're so tall. How tall are you? He's like 6'3". He's like, oh, you're like a lamppost. I was like, nice callback. Nice callback, Dad.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, hold on. She called him a Gary get involved? I've never heard that before.
Me neither.
That might be a British slang. Gary get involved. Like probably like a nosy. Wait, there's a few little named sayings about people.
Yeah.
Oh, skipped it. Dreadful for me. Skipped it. That's probably Sean and Matilda. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a little embarrassing, but sometimes parents are embarrassing.
Well, I think he just didn't. he called him over, but he lost his sauce.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about Ruben and Grace?
No, I like Ruben. He's a sweetheart. I'm gonna miss him.
Mm-hmm. Jess and Io are next. We see Io running fast to see his brother.
Who did he knock out the way? Kieran? Somebody he almost knocked out the way.
He's fast. He's real fast. It's Jessica's best friend and her mom. When they're talking to them, they do like Io. And Io's family, or his brother anyway, says that they're 85% happy with Io. They didn't really deal with Casa. He didn't really deal with Casa Amor very well, which is probably the 15% that things went down.
I mean, they should have actually put it to 20% because to be honest, you literally lost yourself the show because of what you did. And I think it's not even just what he did to Mimi. It's literally how he reacted afterwards. He reacted like Aaron.
Okay, you're right, though. It was giving fan.
It was giving fan. It was giving fan. I'm gonna be fair. If I was Grace, when I get home, like, why would you do that? Like, don't ever do that again. It was very embarrassing.
Oh, I thought he was gonna call him over and just be like, "You're rude. Like, don't ever talk to my brother again." But no, he wanted his autograph. Oh, embarrassing.
Yeah, very, very embarrassing.
I didn't hear it the first time, but I've heard it in replays since on other channels. But when did his brother say that I do remember him talking about how with Mimi is calm and Jess is a little bit more hyper and a little bit more fiery, which makes sense. She's an Aries. I don't remember him specifically saying that I think you're better suited with Mimi.
Oh, he said it. Yeah, no,
I believe that he said it because I've heard it after, I've seen it after, but when I originally had watched it, I would have written it down, right? So
So he literally said it right before that. He said, for me, I feel like you and Mimi suit better. Because he said, I think with Jess, my issue with Jess is that she needs constant reassurance. And like, again, and this is my issue with the male species. If a woman needs constant reassurance, that's because you're not making her feel reassured.
Absolutely. When he's being clear with his intentions, his feelings for her, she's not asking her for those reassurance because they're just being able to have a normal conversation. And he's also seen how he's treated Mimi. And so she's like, can you give me some reassurance that you're not treating me like you're treating Mimi?
Correct.
That's the way it is.
Right. So it's like, well, she only needs reassurance when he's not making her feel confident and reassured. Otherwise, I think Jessica's fine.
Absolutely.
I don't think she has a problem with Io. Io makes it so she has a problem with Io. Like, not making her tea in the morning. I'm not even saying the full course breakfast. I'm talking about the tea. Like, I would be pissed off.
Or just be like, what's going on? Is there something going on? You didn't bring me any tea this morning.
And he's like, oh, well, I made it every day. Yeah, so you continue making it.
Or have a reason for not making it.
Correct. Which is why I rated, while I still think it was an error, I did rate Cordell attempting to make breakfast for Serena because in his head,
he does it every day.
Every time I've been in the villa with her, I've made her breakfast. And we found out that every guy was doing the same thing. Miguel made breakfast for Leah. Kenny made breakfast for Janae. They just didn't show it. But also, what they didn't do that Cordell did was to serve the breakfast at the same time, which was the error. That was the error. And that's all I kept saying is the error was him serving it at the same time. He shouldn't have did that. He should have either sent somebody up there with the breakfast for her or just left it for her to pick up and eat or not, right?
Exactly.
And that was my own thing. That was my only thing. But otherwise, I can rate that. Sitting there and talking about, well, I've made it every day. Yes, and you should continue to make it every day. It's different if you're home and you're like, well, I forgot this time. Yeah, okay, you forgot one time or you that's not the routine you guys have. That's different. But in the villa, you ain't got no fucking excuses. You ain't doing shit else.
Yeah, this is what your job is right now, is to pursue this
Oh yeah,
relationship.
she is. She
Um,
is. She is.
yeah, Kay says that I do think that Jess is joking a lot of the time, though, and I think she was half joking about the tea thing,
Yes.
but he still
Like,
should have made her the
how
tea.
do you think it made me feel? And I know that part was the joke, because well, he's like, you getting to know another girl, and that's like, what girl is he getting to know? We know that that's not the case, but even still, like, she's right in. That's the difference. Why I do feel like him and her work, because she's calling him out on his shit. He didn't make Mimi jack shit for how many weeks, right? She's calling him out on his shit, and that is what makes them different and why they will work better at the end of the day.
Jess says the brother could have kept his comment. It helps nothing. Your brother wants Jess, and they have all moved on. Yeah, I was just annoyed. I was annoyed, especially hearing after and being like, "We'll seeing the clip for the next episode." I'm like, "What? Like now his brother is gonna have influence on this garbage? Like nobody wants them together. Nobody."
Nobody. Now the villa has understood why that nobody wants them together now, right? Like even they don't want them together. And at the end of the day, like I feel like he could have kept it to himself, but because he didn't keep it himself, I do agree with Ayo turning around and telling her. I just think it was time and place.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And this my only issue with Ayo, where I'm like, the emotional maturity is not there because you would know not to do it.
Kay says, correct. Your job is to make some unseasoned avocado toast and flat scrambled eggs.
Every damn day. Every damn day. Although we did find out that Serena loves avocados, and so he would make her avocado toast every day, but he didn't eat it. But he also would make her a full breakfast. He's like, I made
Wait,
pancakes.
he doesn't like avocados? Because he only had it for the first time there.
Correct.
Oh.
And he's like, they're okay, and avocado toast is okay. But he said that he actually made it just for her, but he also made her like breakfast almost every day, like pancakes and waffles and eggs and everything otherwise for her almost every day.
I know, but like I love Cordell, but I might take issue with people that don't like avocado. It's a problem.
He said it was okay. He tasted it and he's like, it's okay.
It's kind of like a staple.
And Serena's like, she eats it every day. Like she eats avocados all day, every day. So she's like us.
Kay says, I was talking about Ayo. We know Cordell and Serena use seasoning. Yeah, I know.
Fair.
I know.
Fair.
Well, they were allowed to touch the chicken when they were making the grand meal because they're from
and the
Texas.
Chicken looked good too. The chicken looked good.
So Jess was nervous about meeting his family, but they end up doing this. And his sister, her best friend, said that if he had gone up to the terrace at that moment to meet Mimi, they would have been done. They would have been done. It's true.
I mean, I listen. I when he did that, I did agree with him because he had made at that point a decision and he stuck to it. But what I needed him to do was stop messing with Mimi, and what I needed him to do was have the conversation so it could be done. He finally had it, and I'm fine with it. Like that was all I needed, because he kept stirring the pot and then leaving it and be like, well, I don't know why she's doing this. Oh my God, how could she? And it was like, she's doing it because you keep reeling her in.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So Kieran and Cole are next, and basically the Cole's family is like, oh, wait till you see when you come outside of the villa how much he cares for you, and she's so happy with Kieran. And they make fun of or they come in saying, who's Emma? Which I thought was funny. Yeah. Everybody hugs Nicole's mom when she comes into the villa. Kieran's talking to his mom, and he's like, she says to him, it's not every day that you see your boy fall in love. I don't think that he's in love, but okay. KB says, we can see why Kieran is so invested in Nicole. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran's family loves her. I'm like,
Nicole, can we like she cries over everything.
I mean, she's going to win the show and she'll cry and then we'll be done with her. I don't think that she'll be
for real.
Like, will she get the brand deals and stuff like that? Is she likable?
I don't see that people like her. But if she wins the show, maybe I feel like they're middling, right? Like, I don't feel like she has like a ton of style. She doesn't have star quality. She's a little over. I think she's like a Kaylor, personally, right?
I
Like,
think Taylor is more personality though.
which is what I'm saying. Like, the only difference is that Kaylor has better personality, right? Like, so I could see her getting brand deals, but I don't even see that with Nicole. But again, if she wins the show, it might just be tied to her winning the show, but I don't think it's going to do any good.
I just like
what did Jess get? Like, what did Jess get?
she got a little bit of stuff.
Right, but have we seen anything? Like,
but I think that Jess is a better representation of like, you know, pretty little things and stuff like that than Nicole is.
And they had their little trio too. That, you know, that's fair.
Ricky says, I don't see big brands working with Nicole at this point. Yeah, me neither. I just don't see it. KB says her and Kaylor have used all of their credit and reserve sympathy funds.
That's how I feel. That's what I mean. I think that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, tired of both of them equally. Mimi and Josh are up next. They come into the bedroom and find Jomi. Mimi's family, sister and mom, talk about how he adores her and that he's Prince Charming and you're his queen. And I hope she was hearing that. It's
I think
nice.
she was.
I hope so, because like
I think we've definitely seen her since then be a lot more open with Josh, especially when they said like his family said, oh, you said that he was your type to a T, and she was like he's like, I didn't know that. You even that to yourself. And she's like, and so I think that helped both of them, because her being like
she's very hidden with her feelings, and so like
correct.
At least he got to know she liked
him. That it's from the start she has liked him. It's not that she didn't or it's developed. And then for him, it's, you know, like he knows that she likes it. She's been downplaying it a little bit. But I also understand her downplaying her feelings, because again, she's gotten burned. Yeah. And I also think she thinks, and kind of fair, there's something that she didn't see that she missed because she hasn't watched the show that happened with her and Io, that because he really didn't give her an answer why things ended the way they ended, right? And I think she was worried that maybe Josh was playing her in some way. And she just kind of built up like a little wall. And I think having both of their families saying, no, I like you and I like you, and that you guys are like really like, we're ready to plan the wedding. That's how much we like you. And while yes, it was hard, like I don't even think they've ever said, oh, you know, we really liked Io for you, but Josh is much better. They basically said, no, this is the person you should have been with this entire time, right? And I think that helped her, because we just seen her like skyrocket after that.
So his family does tell him that she's been smiling more, which is true. She's you know, the people are saying that Io is a lot like, you know, more animated. I think Mimi's also a lot more open and animated and laughing and joking. Like I think that they both are in, from what I can see, a more suitable relationship than being
absolutely together. I feel like I agree that Io is a lot more loving with Jessica, in, you know, as much as Io can be, and he also is a lot more brighter, more personality. I do feel like, I'm not saying that the man has any more chats. He's very, very dead chatted, but at the end of the day, he is more animated and open with Jessica. Whereas Mimi, she just is so much more smiling, but she also, you see, she spends a lot of her time with Josh. Like he literally has become her best friend in comparison. I think that is also why they are moving a lot quicker than other people in the villa, because when you look in the background, they're usually together, right? And so I do think they spend a lot more time together.
What's PK?
She absolutely does. She's a Bible babe. She's a Bible babe.
What's PK though? What does that mean?
Preacher's kid.
Oh, okay.
I'm a preacher's kid.
Mimi just gives preacher's kid church girl who doesn't roster date.
She's absolutely a Bible babe. That is why it was knowing that there's a TikTok of her where she's like holding a Bible and she's like dancing. I have to send it to you if I can find it again. But I was like, oh, like, and also when she told him to pray, and then they were talking about the Bible story.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, yeah.
yeah. And so it's like I started to understand more. She's just a loyal person as is, but also it's probably what she's been talking, just like stick to one guy, right? And I think that was also why it was probably a little hard for her to get off of Io. So yeah, I agree. I think I after realizing that, I was like, oh, she's a Bible babe. She like this is her. This is church girl. Like, but Beyonce church girl, I think she'll be what she'll be evolving to. And I think actually Josh is getting that as well. Like, you know, she might not be as like forward, right? But she has like a little hidden stuff that he's seeing.
I mean, she's maybe a Bible babe, but she's on Love Island, so she's going to be a little bit stepping out of that world a little bit,
Correct.
you know.
Correct.
And yes, I agree, Kay, that would explain to me her fixation on Io, that she wanted to make sure that she was handling the situation completely, that she wasn't just dismissing it without having full clarity on the situation. So totally get it.
That's exactly what I got from it as well.
So then we see Jesse and Joey's parents, Joey's sister and his nan. They say that his dad is proud. And Joey's talking about how Jesse just took him by surprise. And they like how she doesn't take his shit. He thinks he found the one. What a liar. Liar than a Louis Vuitton from China. Liar. Faker.
He's a liar.
Then. You know what I meant. Faker then.
He's an absolute liar. He's a liar. He's a
liar. Fake liar. I don't believe anything you say.
Nothing.
They do tell him you need to drop it with grace. Drop it. So even his family is like, it's not a good look. Just like stop it.
Yeah.
I don't know why Joey was crying, but he started crying and his mom is crying. And then I guess they all got together and talked about the footsie thing. But was it Jesse's family that told him that she needs to give his exes, including Grace, a little bit of respect and kindness? Was that Jesse's? That was Jesse's family, right?
That was Jesse's family. Jesse's mom told him he needs to respect Grace.
Good. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. All right, next episode. Everybody loved Joey's nan. They cheers to the night. I think Grace made that cheers. Mm-hmm. Jesse and Joey have a chat, and you know, he says that it wasn't nice seeing her upset with him about the whole Grofty thing. But he says, you know, it's me and you now. And he talks about how his nan and sister adore her, and she says that her parents love him. I'm like, really? Like, why are you choosing to harm your children like this by supporting these toxic relationships?
I don't know, because my whole thing is he is toxic as hell, and I just can't understand why you would want your child with this person.
Yeah, I said nan. I know that his mom passed away when he was 10, I believe, and he only started dealing with it when he was 30. Was that on the show that he said that? Or something else? Anyways, but yeah. I do know that. And he tells her that he's told them that he feels like she might be the one, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, liar! Trying to win the show. Oh, God. Sure. Mimi pulls Josh and he's like, daybed? She's like, no, I got something better than the daybed. So they're walking around. We know they're probably going to the terrace. Jess and Io have a chat and they talk about how that they know that she's different than him. And he's got some mad love for her. And so like, it was just kind of a fine chat. He didn't bring up yet what his brother had said. So
yeah.
Well, you wish she had said it there?
No, I wish he had not said what he said to Kira, because then he felt obligated to tell Jess. because the whole thing is when once you tell one person in the villa,
Yeah,
it's
you
gonna
gotta
get
be
around. And
transparent.
so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he didn't do the right thing. I just wish he could have just kept that shit to himself in the first place. Like sometimes you have to just eat it, because like I will say this: when I was married, my ex-husband, when we first started being together, so we were dating like 4 years when we had our daughter. And then so that was we were in college, right? And then after that, like he would just always tell me what his family, oh, my family thinks you this and my family says that, and and it was like, it was always like kind of negative, and it was always just like either like anytime they had something to say about me or against,
It's like,
and
why
it's like,
you don't need to tell me this.
I'm like, so eventually I had to tell him, listen, you're making things worse for us, telling me every fucking thing that your family's saying about me or towards us or whatever. Like major things, sure, but if it's like little comments, don't tell me every little thing. Because all it's going to do,
It's
like,
just
I'm a Taurus.
micromanaging you as a person in this relationship, which is nobody
Right.
wants to be micromanaged.
No.
They don't.
So I had to tell him to stop, because otherwise it was just making me upset, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what he had to do. He had to stop. There's a point where you have to just eat it. Like, I cannot be your partner. I'll be your partner in anything else, but when it's somebody in your family that you're not going to turn against, right? You're not going to stop your relationship for them because of the shit that they're saying about me or towards me. You have to just eat it and keep it to yourself or tell somebody else.
Exactly. So Mimi and Josh, they do go up to the terrace. We'll be back to that soon. As Io, like you're mentioning, does tell Kieran about what his brother said, and that he thinks that him thinking that him and Mimi are better suited, and he doesn't know how Jess will react to this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the reason, though, I know that you're saying is because he told Kieran he doesn't want to come from somebody else before it comes from him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also he doesn't want her to see it after the villa.
Right. And I
And
understood that. I definitely understood that. I'm not saying he shouldn't have told her. What I'm saying is, tell her in Heathrow. Tell her when you get dumped. Just so you know, right? Like I don't want you to see it when you get on TV, when we get off and you're watching it back, or people are gonna say
but
something.
like I just didn't want it to change our experience in the villa. But I wanted to
Correct.
tell you just so you wouldn't feel a type of way when you're
Correct. But
around
I
the
don't
family.
think he knew how to handle that, because again, I don't think he's emotionally mature.
Kay thinks that he lacks some discernment here a little bit, but to be fair, he doesn't seem to know is what to specifically share, because what he didn't think was important to share was important to Jess 2 times before. He was trying.
Fair.
He was trying.
Fair. And that's why
Kay
I said
says,
I can't even be mad at him.
yeah, Case agrees that he should have told her after they were out of the villa, but before they were home. Yeah.
Exactly. Before they get the phones back, I just want you to know. I didn't say anything in the villa because I didn't want to add, pile on top of the bullshit that we were already dealing with Sean and Joey and whatever. But my brother did kind of say that he felt like we suit, and I basically blew him off because I don't think, we don't suit, but I basically blew him off because, again, I'm with you. You're the person I want to be with. And she might have still had the same kind of question. Well,
Right, but at least it wouldn't affect her in the villa anymore. It just affect her maybe moving on, and it could be
correct.
it become a joke with her and her brother. Be like, what? Like 6 months down the
Do you,
road
like,
at some
do you
family
think we suit
thing.
now? Right,
Yeah,
right,
exactly. It
right.
might play off a little bit better, but in the villa, everything's so heightened. There's so much going on about Mimi and Io, and are they together? And it's so much about that it really wasn't the best timing.
It wasn't the time. It wasn't.
But Io does notice that Mimi and Josh are on the terrace.
He's like, is that Mimi and Josh?
Yes. But did you notice that Mimi and Josh have a handshake and a little smoochy smooch?
Yeah, they developed it the very first day.
I know, but like it came back out. You
Yeah,
know I love a handshake.
I love it. Again, I think they just spend so much time together that they just have like such a great genuine connection. And I think everybody, not in the villa, I don't know about the people in the villa, but I'm talking about everybody outside can really see it, which is why we're just like, okay, it'd be different if we, like, I don't think people would care as much if they really thought that like they were playing a game, but you can actually see that they have like a real connection, because those are things that you don't do with somebody you actually don't like.
So Io does tell Jess, and he is pretty calm and asks her how she feels. She said she's okay. She wants to know why he's telling her now. True.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of frustrated because this whole Mimi and Io thing, it's draining. And now her brother is coming in with this new information. And you're telling me this now. Like, why are you telling me this now? Like, what kind of reaction are you trying to get out of me? Or like, what? Like, I would just be so annoyed to
I would
have
be
to.
so annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I think it was putting her in a bad spot, having to manage her feelings and having an opinion about it, especially with now his brother's influence, watching her on the TV. I totally agree that it kind of put her in a bad spot,
It
and
did. That's
she
why I
wouldn't
said
be
he
able to
should have held
react
it.
properly. Pardon? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like ultimately the brother shouldn't have said anything, but once the brother said something, Io should have just held it. He should have just held it. Like you just have to.
Kay says, I think Josh is the right amount of maturity for Mimi, and he stands up when needed because Mimi is too passive at times. I agree.
Yeah, and I've said that when you have a partner that is like Mimi, like it's so kind and so forgiving and so genuine, they need a person who's gonna bring the ire. Like, stop fucking with her. Like, she's not going to sit here and come after you. Stop fucking with her, because if you're fucking with her, you're fucking with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need to be afraid of messing with both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Jess tells Matilda, like, so she goes into the I think it's in the villa or the hallway up to upstairs. I haven't actually really looked at what the layout actually is, but she's upset, and I do love that Matilda can notice right away that she's upset, and she's going to kind of
Mm-hmm.
comfort her, and lets her know what was said and how she's kind of upset about it. And Matilda's like, that is shit. You shouldn't have said that, and like she doesn't agree with that. She thinks that her and Io are suited. I think they are well suited. I don't know what her brother is actually saying.
I don't know what his brother is saying either. I
Like,
think
his one
I
is
personally,
calm, good.
yeah, I don't know, but at the end of the day, I don't know what his brother's watching on TV other than you're mad that your brother no longer can win the show because he's not with Mimi, and that's all I got from it. That's all I
Maybe.
got from it. I got from it that, well, you screwed up because you moved from Mimi, and now you can't win the show. And choices were made, but that's not Jess's fault. That's not Mimi's fault. That was, I mean, to be fair, Josh said it correctly. Well, that's on him. That's
Mhm.
on him.
And so she just really wanted his family to like her, and so it's pretty shitty feeling to know
Which is
that.
why he also shouldn't have said it.
Exactly. Not yeah. Mm-mm. No, if all that stuff wasn't going on, maybe he could have said it and like make it a joke, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too hot of a topic right now.
Yeah.
So Jess does pull Ayo again, and he still doesn't really give her the right energy. It's kind of like he's annoyed with her for being annoyed with the situation. But like, if you didn't want her to have a reaction, why are you bringing it up to her? Right? Like, why is he
Yeah.
bringing it up to her if she
I
doesn't want
don't
her
know
to
why
react?
I don't know why he. That's why I said he should have helped. He should have held it. So
And maybe this is also maybe appreciating that BB is dark
okay.
skinned and Jess isn't. So like maybe they wanted to keep, you know what I mean? Like they appreciated Mimi more in that way too, possibly.
I think it's more what Jessica's saying at the end. Like, Jess is a lot more outspoken, and Mimi is tame. Like, she's a lot more tamer. And to be fair, that might culturally work better in. I think they're Nigerian, right? Like, so I think it might work better. And also, again, like she's into the Bible and all that stuff. Yeah.
Kay says, I think that it's because Jess is of a Jamaican background and may just prefer some of Nigeria's descent. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, not every culture for some reason is as open to cross cultures, even within black races, right? And so, I mean, we've seen it work. India is Jamaican descent, and it's from the UK, and Dami is of Nigerian descent, and he's from Ireland, and so they are melding cultures coming into their relationship, but they have made it work, right? And
Mm-hmm.
his family was very open and inviting of her, and same thing. And when you go and you watch their snaps on Snapchat, she's always cooking him
Well, and you see sometimes they'll do like, oh, this is how he deals with my culture, this is how I deal with his kind of thing.
Yeah,
I do like seeing that.
yeah. And so
I only bring up the skin tone thing is because like my grandmother is a terrible colorist. And
it's also possible.
pardon
Yeah.
me?
I said you're right. It's also possible there.
I just like I definitely agree with everything that's being said, but I do also wonder about that just a little bit, just for the fact that
Mhm.
I know on the other side it's something that's spoken about, and
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised if potentially that could
You're
be
absolutely right.
a
You're absolutely
possibility.
yeah. You're absolutely right. I usually don't jump colorists because my family is just not like, if we would hate each other, because seriously, if you see my father, he's very my sister basically is light with freckles, and my dad is fairer skin, my mom is darker skin. That is what my entire family looks like, right? My son, when he was born, he was very, very light, because on my husband's family side, also same thing. The boys came out very fair skin, and the girls came out darker, and so it's like you would be hating your own children, and that's just not in our family. But I do know families where that is literally the
My
case.
grandmother does not like her dark skinned children. Like
Correct.
just doesn't. And like didn't like my father because my mom wanted to marry someone, like my mom's very, very fair, like
Yeah.
not white passing, but maybe Middle Eastern passing.
Yes.
And so she wanted to marry someone, the darkest person that she could find, because she wanted her children to have a really nice skin tone.
Yeah. I remember you
And
saying that.
so I'm light, so my grandmother likes me, but my brother's a little bit darker than me, and so she's like doesn't like him as much. But she has like my mom has some half sisters. Like my mom and her full sister, they're both very, very light skin, Middle Eastern passing, or like even my aunt I think looks more Filipino, but anyways, like like light skin. And but her other two sisters are much darker skinned and don't even talk to her basically. And so
Yeah.
I just know that from my experience. And so
Yeah.
who knows? It could be different
So, I
everywhere
mean,
else.
a generation removed, like my mom was raised by her grandmother. So, her mom had her at 19. My grandfather was older, but she left my mom with her mother. She moved to the UK. She developed a fear of flying and never left the UK. She's still there. And my grandmother, my mother's grandmother treated her very badly. And again, my grandfather was a dark-skinned black Jamaican, and my mother's family are all of South Asian Jamaican descent. And so yeah. So I definitely know. I haven't experienced it because, again, generations removed.
For sure. Kate says no, I think it's because Jess's family background Jamaican. Oh no, sorry, I did that one right. I meant
Mhm.
this one, it's cultural. Family saw a girl go after a man that was coupled up with someone they liked. Jess isn't African or Christian. They're never going to like her.
That's also
Um
weird.
I can agree with that too, but where's Io in this? Like she liked Io. Io was the one that was in the ting ting with Mimi, so
Mhm.
Kate thinks I think probably because Mimi presents docile wife, yeah, trad wife vibes for sure, versus my
Yes,
Jamaican brethren,
definitely.
who's going to stand up for herself more openly. Yes, and she's an Aries.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. I like Jess. I like what Jess brings. I like her humor. I don't have a problem with Jess. My problem has always been with Io.
100%.
And I like that Jess went after what she wanted. It was for Io to not do anything until he, like, taking her into the hideaway and doing all that stuff behind Mimi's back, and not waiting till you got to Mimi and said, okay, I'm sorry, I chose somebody else, and we're gonna get on, but I want you to understand that it was just that I felt like this was a better connection.
Kay's also agreeing with Kay's burner. I
Mhm.
think it's just that they may ultimately accept Jess, but they prefer an African Christian woman. I mean,
I can
I
absolutely
could
see it.
very much see that too.
I can
Io's
absolutely.
father is a pastor. Remember, the father said for Io to have fun. They see Jess as a good time, nothing more. Her friend calling Jess a clown didn't help either. Did
Who?
they? I
What
don't.
friend?
Nigerians don't like that.
What friend?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Related? Wait, do you have Southeast Asian descent, KB?
Yeah.
I
Let me
mean,
know. I know you're
I've
from.
got
I know
family.
you're from my area too, right? So
I'm from Jamaica and England as well. Okay, maybe we're
yeah.
related too. Slash, my dad was born in Hackney, so it'd be Hackney area, all London. But I'm not Southeast Asian though.
Yeah. So yeah, my dad is a mix up. So like if I give you my ancestry, it's a very
I've never
very
done my
mixed.
ancestry, but like my mom's side is pretty mixed up too. Like
Yeah.
she has these identical twin grannies. So my mom's
Mhm.
mom's mom.
Okay.
And so they are like Lebanese and da 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 da. Like they definitely white passing, like with long hair to their butts. You know what I mean? These little old twins. What are they called? Missetti and oh, I can't remember her sister's name right now. But
Mhm.
oh, South. Okay, that's so interesting.
So for me, my mom would be the Southeast Asian, right? And then my dad, literally, I have like English, Scottish on my dad's side, so it's actually split, right? So but yeah, like if I showed you my dad's dad, he literally looked like a white guy.
Right.
Because but he didn't know his dad.
Right.
So that's the only thing, like we've never been able to like trace his dad.
Um, Kate says Jess's friend called Jess a clown when Io's family voiced concern about her being demanding for reassurance. Oh, maybe out in the public, not on the show. Okay, I might not have.
I might not know that. Yeah,
Okay, that sucks.
that kind of sucks. But I also understand her trying to back her friend.
So Kay says my entire family is mix up, mix up. I had to prime my ex-husband that children in my family come out looking like literally
Literally everything. Say, my daughter came out looking Indian. My, my like reddish brown skin with like curly straight hair, black jet black hair, and then my middle son came out looking like an Irish little boy. That people are like, who did you have a baby by, the mailman? And he was just fair skin.
Kay says my mom is Southeast Asian, Scottish, and more. My dad's side is Panamanian. A little more mixing, but not enough characters for the chat. I got a lot of mixes too. So because my mom on my mom's side in Jamaica, so her dad's dad was Scottish. I
Mhm.
think it might have been like a slave vibes because yeah, you know how that went down over on the
Yeah,
islands. And so, because I
absolutely.
think that her like the mom or like the great grandmother was protecting land or something like that, and then the Scots came over, and there's children were born, but
Yeah.
originally his last name was Farquharson. This is my grandfather, and so where did he come from? But then when he got his passport, they didn't understand Farquharson, so they changed the last name to Ferguson. So my mom is a Ferguson,
Oh,
but originally from the Farquharson clan, which is Scottish. Um,
wow. I'm trying to
Melting
think.
pot, yes. So
Hmm.
I'm a Farquharson from Scotland, if I'm going that route. And then since we're just talking about like having many family members, but
Mhm.
my grandfather on my dad's side was born in either Antigua or Montserrat. I can't remember who's born at which one, but they're neighboring islands. And he has 44 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So his dad was a truck driver, and it seems like he just drove around the country and impregnating people.
Dropping children here and there.
Yeah, and so not that many of them are still alive, because they'd all be like, my granddad is like 95 right now, so any older than him likely would have passed, and even younger. But I think there's maybe 3 left, but he says, he's like, I don't even know if I met them all. So,
oh wow.
So yeah, I do want to do an ancestry because like I want to, I have a better idea as to what mixes are within my veins, right? Kay says I'm a Scottish Ramsay from my mom's side, not to be confused with a British Ramsay. I like Gordon.
I love it.
Case said Jess was joking. I saw his siblings' face after she said that. Not good. Plus, Mimi has a degree and is a nurse. That's a bonus too. Io took what his brother said to heart. Okay, I understand. Mimi is on paper more suited for marriage.
Yes, and so when he said suit, he means literal suits rather than their personalities go together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. So
on
basically,
paper.
the just so you know, the girl we would have rather welcomed was Mimi, not Jess. That's what he was saying.
Kind of. So yes, Jess pulls Io again. He wasn't really giving her, in my opinion, the right energy for the fact that he brought her bad news. She does walk off. When she walks off, she goes and tells Josh that what his brother had said to him. He does tell her, you know what, you should just let this go, just brush it off, which was good advice, but there's no way that she's going to do that.
Right.
Everyone's getting ready for bed. Jess does say to Io, I just want to be able to feel like shit about it and it being okay. Because I feel like she feels like she has to walk on eggshells with her reactions. Because like her family wants her to be more calm and more quiet, apparently. And she doesn't want to push him away at this point by having a reaction that's too big or whatever, you know?
Right.
So
what did you think about her telling Josh?
If she was going to tell Josh, maybe she should have also told Mimi. But I think that she was doing it because she just wanted to have somebody on her side that kind of would like either dead the situation or like just like make her feel better about it. What do you think? What do you mean?
Oh, I was annoyed that she told Josh, but I just want to know, what did you yes, I get that, but also Josh is kind of like, I feel like he didn't give her the energy that she wants.
I agree. Yeah, it's because he kind of just he I think she wanted someone to like complain about it. Yeah, with it too. But he just told her to like just forget about it. Like don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
Kay does think that Jess was messy for that. Misery loves company. Josh and Mimi will have nothing to do with Jess's issue with Io. Yeah, like the reason why I'm thinking that she should have said, I don't know if Mimi should be left in the dark about this now. Like the 3 out of the 4 people know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But also, is it like it might also cause her more turmoil than it will?
Yeah, confusion for sure.
Yeah.
But I do think that Mimi might feel a type of way of being the only one that didn't know about it. You know, but I think it could be easily solved. Jessica says, I think Jess was being messy. She wanted Josh to be upset with her. I didn't like it.
She wanted Josh to be upset with Mimi?
No, with at the same time as her. Commiserating.
Okay, at the same time. Got it.
So in bed, Jess does say to Io, it does change things. It does change things.
And I think it changes things because she does realize that what she said. Like she said, she knows he values his family's opinion.
Yeah, and so now she's like can't feel like she can't be herself, that they don't want him to be with her. Yeah.
And the fact that he after that was just so sullen and kind of upset that like it was her fault. Like I was getting how she was feeling.
Kay says, I think Jess just needed someone to confide in that she knows can relate. That's kind of what I was thinking. The white girls would just overreact and make it a bigger deal than she probably wanted it to be. Yeah, I think a little bit of commiserating, a little bit of wanting to relate. I think it's a little mishmash of everything. Like, I think she wanted to be able to talk about it with somebody because Io wasn't allowing her to talk about it and feel annoyed with it in the way that she was satisfying for her. And so Josh was the next best thing, I think.
That makes a lot more sense. I mean, she already did tell Matilda, but she also, I get it. I definitely get it. And at least she did not tell Mimi, because I actually think she should not have told Mimi. So that's the whole thing. I just think it's dragging Mimi back into all of it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And like maybe coming from her, it's kind of
it's icky.
It's I mean, I just don't want to be talking about this at all, actually. So Io, we blame Io.
Yeah.
She should have kept this storyline out of the villa. In the boarding, Josh does tell Ruben what Jess had said. And so now, see, it's everybody's starting to know about it, you know what I mean? Which is like,
yeah,
that's kind of why, you know what I mean? Jesse and Grace have a conversation and they overhear Josh and Ruben talking about what Jess had said about Mimi, or Io's brother. They think it's untrue. And so then Jess and Io have another conversation again. And it seems whatever was said, everything's cleared up now. She's fine. She's okay with everything. So Jess and Grace do go over to chat with Jess. Jesse and Grace go over to chat with Jess. And they let them know that they overheard something. And Jess was going to deaded it right away. She's like, I don't care what you heard. Like, everything's sorted. I don't want to hear what you have to say. It's squashed now. Love you guys. And so they're just like, well, we just wanted you to know that we agree with you. It was wrong or whatever they said. And so I'm happy, though, that she didn't make it the big deal. And so that could really make Jess's point here even more valid. The fact that she when it was done, she shut it down. And so she probably did just want to talk about it with Josh so that it wouldn't become a big deal. Because I would have been pissed if it became like a big villa deal, and like that would have been actually really bad. Jess and they got a text. It's gonna be the Love Island talent show. First up, we see Nicole dancing. She's okay. Kieran is like, oh my god, that's my girlfriend. She's not a bad dancer. She's okay. Definitely
just okay.
She's doing like sexy jazz. Like I know all the moves that she was doing. It's pretty typical sexy jazz dancing or like urban street dancing. Ruben is up next. He's with an umbrella doing Singing in the Rain. His voice is okay. She brings up Grace and asks her to be his lamppost. So he brought the joke back. That was cute. I think that Grace said that he did really well, but I think that she didn't think it was sexy enough or hot enough or masculine. I don't know. I think she said that it was great, but I don't think she liked it.
She does not like Ruben.
Or there's that. Matilda is next. It wasn't bad. It was creative, but it's so gross. Just seeing these two feet puppets doing the Shauna Matilda relationship.
Yeah. It was gross.
Yeah, you didn't like that? Naya here says that honestly this season sucks. When it comes to true friendships, there really isn't strong bonds right now in the house. They seem like they all hate each other. Kinda. Yeah. You think they wanted to trash talk Mimi? Rachel thinks that Grace and Jesse wanted to trash talk Mimi.
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that. That sucks. I can't say I disagree, but I didn't think about that at the time. Grace does a yoga class, but she comes in hitting the triangle. Not great. Josh comes in as Chef Josh, and he's gonna make an MJ, a Mimi and Josh waffle. I guess the joke was how low the table was, like the rolling table was.
Yeah.
It came up to like his knees, and he had to like bend down so far to make his waffle.
Yeah.
And then when he was putting the cream on the waffle, he was making it look like ejaculation. Mimi got very shy.
It was kind of funny though.
I mean, I think this was great. Like,
Yeah.
if Grace wanted to do her yoga thing, she should have taken the Leah from the US's route, where made everything maybe sexual. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
downward facing, like I make them all
Yeah,
sex positions or something, just to make it something else. You know what I mean? Or like tell a story.
That I can agree with.
Yeah, maybe tries his waffle. She says it's good. Then I don't know what on earth this rap was. Like, somebody that so uses so many microaggressions, we'll say. How dare he use a rap as his way of his talent? Saying he called me a dickhead just for the clout is one of the lines that I wrote down that he says. But at the end, he says, when I say secret, you say mission secret, to dead air, which I was like, yes, I'm glad they didn't give him anything.
Perfect.
I'm sure he says Grace is still salty that Josh didn't pick her over Mimi. Maybe.
Yeah, that is what a lot of people are getting from it. That's kind of also what I was getting from it. Yeah.
Season 10's light show, a talent show is light years better than this. Who asked to see the bottom of Matilda's dirty feet or Joey's fight to stay on me? He was fighting to stay there. Like, there was no beat, no rhythm. I mean, I think it was all a cappella, and I think that they put this track over top. You know what I mean? I don't think there was actually a beat when he went, but he definitely did not have an inner metronome. No way.
Go.
I know. I want to see him do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that challenge. I need to see him do that.
Did you see Shampoo Poppy from The Circle and AD do it? I reposted the TikTok. I'll send it to you.
I need to do that one myself too, because like I don't find it hard. I think it's just really fun to do. Like,
I loved them doing their tag team. It was so cute.
Yeah, it was a talentless show ever, most for sure.
Yeah.
Kay says Joey's been dressing like a Malibu Most Wanted reject all season, and then had the audacity to do some lame ass rap. I beg. I can't wait for this man to be off the screen. I know. Kieran is next. He does a rugby demo, whatever. It's throwing a rugby through the hoop, or a ball through the hoop. Getting Nicole to assist. Woo! And like, I hated how she's like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, you can't hold a friggin' hula hoop. Like, relax. Like, you don't have to do anything. Jess does some art. She does like an abstract painting of Io. It wasn't good, but it was okay.
It wasn't good, but I mean, like, she is committed to the bit. She's like, okay, y'all think I'm obsessed with the band? All right. She's committed to the bit.
Yeah,
she's committed.
Like, she's not taking herself too seriously in that way, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Sean, did you notice the song that he was coming out to do his candy roast? It was. It's like candy. It got me started now. I was like, are you doing a frigging cookout electric slide song for Sean? Are you kidding me? Like, that is audacious.
I can't.
It's like candy. Started now. So he's giving out candy to people and roasting them. It's his sweet roast that he was doing. The only one I wrote down is that he gave a sour dummy to Josh, because he was a dummy for thinking that Mimi was just going up to the terrace trying to chat. This is the funny joke that he
it was not funny. It was unnecessary. And and you literally are calling somebody names. You're officially, like, before people, and you don't use the bullying. He's a bullying Josh.
Because he knows that he gets away with it in the villa, because there's no way that Josh is going to throw hands in the real world. And not that I think that he would, but in the real world, he would be scared that he could. You know what I mean?
Yes. I because the thing is if he throws hands, then Josh is out the villa and he's done his job, right? But if he can just keep going on him, either we'll dump him or whatever it is. But yeah, no, I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it.
I was crazily impressed with Jesse coming out on the stilts. I was not expecting that at all. I think it looks kind of weird and like kind of goofy, but it was impressive.
She did a good job.
It was impressive. The way that Kieran said, "If you think I'll let you roast me, lie again." That man is quick with a comeback and will never let Sean roast him and get away with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Io comes out and he wants to play a song that is very special to him on his flute. And he only plays one note, and it is Mary Had a Little Lamb, but it was just one note that he played. But he needed complete silence for the first round. And then the second round, he had everybody join along singing Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
And then Mimi came out and she sang 1,000 Miles. She was decent. With a little training, she could be very good. She has a good ear and a decent voice for sure.
She had a beautiful voice. It sounded like an angel. Like, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
Yeah, if she like honed it, she could sing.
Like, I could see if she got some like training, like some actual like vocal training. 100%. She could do it with something with that voice, like she did. I was shocked, guys, and not like it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. She's like a preacher's kid, like she probably inquired. No. I was shocked at the deep level of her voice, meaning that she could take it up a notch and really do something with it if she wanted to.
Sure. She probably never like focused on it. Maybe she sings in church, but maybe I could see her. I could see something happening there. Maybe someone was listening and be like, bright idea. Miss TJ says, "Hello, ladies. This rap was trash. He made it a rap to troll the black people. Absolutely. Naya says, Joey and Sean's performances were cringe and rude. I need them out. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Case Burner says, Mimi has a decent voice, so she could have joined Pastor Io's Papa's Church choir. Another reason for them to prefer Mimi.
Probably. They were like, oh, she can sing too.
So we get a text and they're supposed to decide the winner, and they all decide that it was Jesse. Episode 51. Mimi and Josh chat, and Mimi is annoyed. She's just not gonna be bothering with Sean anymore. Like she's done with Sean. I'm like, yes.
I will say this. The one thing I think I'm glad about them doing this is Mimi, I don't think will ever talk to Sean and Joey like that again after this.
After the show, no way.
Yeah,
or after this episode,
yeah.
Mary says everyone's doing a couple of interviews except for Leah and Miguel. Well, Miguel had to go back to England first, but I think he's been showing on his social media like every day he's been having FaceTimes with Leah,
FaceTime and Leah,
and like seeing
some reason. Leah left like the next day after the finale. We're not sure why, but everybody else left after that. Like Daniela was still there. It was odd. Because when did she get dumped? She got dumped like a week ago. But for some reason, Leah had just left and went back to Calabasas. But he has been showing that he's been FaceTiming her every day.
In his interviews, he sounds like he's very much into Leah. I think the idea, it's like having a rich girlfriend, that works, right? Like, I don't know, it's appealing. So He
I
says that she's gonna take him around LA and show him
yeah.
LA.
I also have to wonder with Leah. I think maybe she went home to get therapy. It's a lot. She came out with 1.4 million followers or something like that. It is a lot. She I think she did the right thing. She went straight home, went home to her family, hugged them up. And she's been talking to Miguel ever since there. It wasn't like he was ever coming right to LA with her. So she would have just been, there getting sad. I think she needed to come home to go to her family. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go home to her animals and her babies and her family and get loved up on and resign herself to the fact that she has all these followers now and what that means for her. Without a mental breakdown. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. And I think she did the right thing. Personally, if I was in Leah's position.
Yeah, nobody else was at that point when they came out of the villa. So
no.
I can understand her just like, okay, whoa, what's going on here?
Now it's not like Cordell and Serena where we know that he's probably gonna go to LA with her and then force himself to go to Dallas and then force himself and go back to her. Because we just found out that she's the one who actually convinced him to move to LA. He was going to move to Miami. And she was like, yeah, it was odd. He's like, he's like, Miami or Vegas. And she was like, no.
I guess because his brother plays in Miami, I guess,
probably.
Right?
That makes sense, actually. You're right. But she was like, no, you should just come move with me to LA. And so he's moving to LA. But, so I think it's a different.
Well, they're both together, and I think if Miguel was going to LA, then maybe she would have stuck around, but he wasn't going to LA. So
yeah,
Miss T-Joy thinks that he was definitely bullying Josh. I wanted Josh to punch him so bad.
I just don't want him to, because I want him to get to the finale, but I wanted to see it so bad because I know it would be good.
Maybe you shouldn't talk to most of these people after the show.
Yeah, not 90%. I mean, to be fair, you know who I would, of all the people I would talk to?
Harriet.
That's still on the show.
Oh. Who?
Jess.
I told Jess. I talked Jess and Mimi.
Yeah, I would. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would talk.
Maybe. No, I don't think I talked to Matilda for the fact that she could stomach Sean. It's character flaw. Yeah. Jessica says, oh yeah, Mimi is all the way done with most of them. She is fed up, and I get it. It's relentless for no reason. She's been the nicest person all season. She doesn't deserve all of this from them.
Yeah.
These people Mimi was cool with are already out. Yeah, the people Mimi were cool with were out at the villa. Harriet, Uma were her people, and Ronnie too.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I said I think the reason her and Josh's connection have grown so much more like leaps and bounds, because we know that if you're spending your time in your couple, your relationship's going to grow. Like he said, no, they're gone. I'm your best friend now. And I really do think that that's what's been happening. Like, she's been spending most of her time with Josh. And so I do think it's just been helping and aiding in their connection.
I agree. Where the heck am I?
We should be almost.
We're just at the beginning.
Episode,
okay,
right?
So we're there. I'm like, okay. And actually, there's not that much left to talk about.
Yeah, no.
So Matilda and Sean have a conversation. And wonders if Josh is upset with him and with Joey, with him, and he's feeling a type of way now that Josh is upset. I mean, it's like, well,
it was all like a ploy, like it's this like victimization edit that they were trying to start again.
And it's like, well, okay, Josh has not said anything to you at this point about being upset about the roast, right? He didn't say anything, but now you're feeling a type of way about the fact that so if you did nothing wrong, you wouldn't think that he's upset about anything. Right?
Correct.
Because he'd be like,
correct. What's the guilty feelings for? Unless you did something you should be feeling guilty for.
Exactly. Because he never made it explicitly clear that he had a problem, right?
Nothing. Josh came off of that and he was like, just okay. Now, I don't even think Mimi was just like dead. She was like, listen, I'm done with them. I'm not talking to them. I don't want nothing to do with them. She had already given Joey the silent treatment the day before, and I truly believe she would, just not speak to them for the rest of the time there if she could. So I know it was making Josh feel away, but he wasn't like, I don't feel like he was outwardly putting that. So to go around and tell everybody that he was
is completely fucking no, it's infuriating to watch because it's like you feel guilty because you were doing something wrong, and now you're going to blame it on the other person for the feelings that you had for something that you did. You're fucking garbage. Jesse and Joey decide to join them, and Joey's stance is like, well, it's the reality and the truth that he can't handle. And Sean's just like, it was a sweet roast. It was a sweet roast. And it's like, I wish that somebody would just roast him on some of his bullshit. I'm like, how about the fact that Matilda's not really that into you, and she's only with you just to stick to the end for the show. But like, as soon as the show ends, she's going to dump you so quickly when she sees how much the public thinks that you're the biggest ick on the planet. Like, how about that? How about we do a roast about that?
She got a taste of it today, and I think she's realizing. I think they thought they were going to win.
Oh my God, these people are delusion, man. So Sean wants to have a chat with Josh, and I'm just like, leave him alone. Leave him alone. So
it's bullying. It's literally like when your bully is like to the teacher, like, I think I should just have a conversation with them because I think they're feeling certain way, and you're just basically continuing the bullying.
Kay thinks that they want to make Josh out to be the angry black man. They're oblivious to the fact that they keep on taking jabs and pot shots at him. Absolutely.
Yes. So they want to make Josh look like he's playing a game, and that they're just pointing it out, and then they want him to have the angry black guy edit. What they don't realize is that that's not working. Nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. And actually, I think what they've done worse is, like, I think people might have thought Josh was ungenuine prior to this if they hadn't done all of this. But the fact that he is, like, even remember he kissed Grace, and then after that they just kept going after him. They basically made him a victim. And so it's like the audience is like, oh no, we see what you're doing, and none of what you're saying is coming across. And he literally could have kept going with Grace, but he didn't.
Exactly. He made his choice. Grace is upset about it, as we've decided. And these other people can't handle the fact that he's actually choosing Mimi. They probably think they're realizing that, like, oh my God, Mimi is the one that's getting the votes here. And so we got to mess up her couple with Josh because we don't want her to have a chance of winning now with Josh if they become too strong. So we have to completely.
We don't want her to be the Amber. And I said Mimi could be the Amber. And right now she's like very close to being the Amber in a better couple, in an actual couple.
Absolutely.
That might come outside and actually have content and people sending stuff their way. At the end of the day, I think they realized the fact that Ayo and Jessica, who they think has more of a connection, keep landing in the bottom over and over and over again. They're realizing, oh, so it was Mimi carrying them. Or Mimi's getting the Amber edit where people feel sorry for her, and they're just and it's not fair. Josh shouldn't get to win the show, right? And at the end of the day, you're just making it so that they're going to win the show.
Absolutely. These people have, like, I guess they haven't watched USA, but when you start doing this to the people that are the fan favorite, it's a losing situation. It's a losing situation.
Yep.
Mary says, I knew Sean was a Hugo or Mitch, not a Bergie. I called it week one. I think we all did. I don't think were we ever into Sean? I don't think so.
I was like, I think he's fine. I didn't have a negative or a positive opinion of it. I was very neutral on him. But the moment that he dumped Omar, I was like, oh, he's a game player. I said,
Yeah,
and
that's
people
true.
think that it was not like, oh, it of course he just wants to have that connect. I said, no, he knew that was the only way he could continue and win and try to win the show, and he's been trying to get rid of black people ever since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sucks. He sucks. Jessica's I was seething when Joey walked over. He knew he needed to be there because Sean can't handle Josh on his own. They have to
Yep,
tag team to even have a chance, and then Josh still keeps handling them.
he's doing
Yes.
so good. I'm very proud of Josh. To be fair,
Well, Charney says Sean was so in the background we forgot he was even there to have an opinion on
that's
him.
what I'm saying.
No, we
That's
definitely were just like he has bad chat. Oh, he's cringe. That's all we really said about him up until
mhm.
usually the point that you're suggesting. So, so Joey joins that chat, and he doesn't feel like he needs to. That he wait. Josh doesn't feel like Sean's apology is sincere, which
Because it's not
because it's not. Like, why don't they seem to get if you keep on apologizing and doing the same thing over again, then your apology is freaking fake, right?
right.
If you
And
really
I'm glad he called him out on it, because I think it was the producers after the off comms trying to get him, to rectify the situation. But I'm glad Josh called it out that it was fake, because we all saw it. Don't try to rehab their little reputation so that you could keep them in the villa. And then they couldn't even help themselves. They kept it going because they have so much ego.
Mm-hmm. So then Io joins, whatever. And so because Sean is like also lighthearted, and Josh is like, well, you called me a dummy. Is that lighthearted?
No, it's bullying.
Exactly. And Josh is like, I feel antagonized. And then Joy always has to turn around and be like, well, I've felt antagonized before
By
by things
you.
that you've
Mhm.
said.
Angry black man.
And it's like, well, why didn't we address those things in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about anything that might have happened in the past. We're talking about this one specific moment that Sean was the one that called me out to talk to me about this because he was feeling a type of way about it. And now you don't like that I have an opinion on something that you guys did. Like, why are you bringing
That
me into
involves
your
me.
nonsense?
That involves me and my feelings and my girl.
Well, Joey doesn't think he needs to feel upset. Like, how
Of
dare
course,
you tell me how I need to feel?
this is how racists act all the time.
Absolutely. They're like, I can say
Every
the R
single
word. Like, wasn't saying it in a bad way. It's like, well, it offends me. Don't say it. Yeah, Joey, that's the first time he's heard the word Jessica. Yeah, he definitely doesn't know what antagonized mean. He's just saying it back because, like, he probably just thinks it means something that he can just flip back like that. Because I actually don't think that Josh has antagonized Joey at all. And then Io explains the situation. So Josh walks off, and Io is just like explains, well, you keep on apologizing, and then you bring it up again when we've completely deaded the situation. I was like, whoa, Io's the voice of reason. What's happening here?
And that's what I said. I said, listen, you can tell that Io is fed up, and because Io what has slowly like gone after them, but like kind of tried to stay out of it. He tried to like, do you see what I'm saying? But at this point, he's so over them that he can't even help but like be in the middle of it. And I think he genuinely likes Josh, which is the funny part about it. Like, I actually think I could see them. Remember, they said they would ghost each other. I actually don't think like Josh and Io and Mimi and Jess would ghost each other after the show.
No, I think that they like each other more than what's going on in this, like everybody else in this villa, for sure. Yeah. Rachel says the difference between Josh and Sean and Joey's intelligence this episode was so stark. Absolutely. Josh did run circles around the two of them, absolutely, while staying calm.
Yep.
Rachel says, I'm glad Io came over because the optics of that convo was making me uncomfortable. Absolutely. They're both just coming and hammering in on him, and gross. So they get a text Jessie because she won the challenge. She gets the hideaway. I said,
and I said, this is why Mimi lost. Because
right. Because you're going to get the hideaway.
So that Joey would get another hideaway. Yay. Like we wanted to. I did not watch this,
I didn't really watch anything. The only thing that I wrote down that was said is that Joey wants Jessie to move in with him in Essex. I was like,
Sure.
It's nighttime. I didn't write anything about this. In the morning, we see Joey and Jesse return. And Matilda thinks that Sean is gutted. He's still gutted. I'm like, it's his own doing. If he stayed out of this mess, he wouldn't be in arguments with people.
Absolutely. I will never find sympathy for that man.
None. Then I got annoyed with Grace here, where she's like, "I think it's fine. It was just a roast." Like, and Jess also doesn't think that Jess disagrees. So it's Jesse, Jess, and Grace, and Grace and Jesse both think it was just a roast, and that Josh is overreacting, and Jess disagrees, saying like, but it's done, and they keep on bringing it up, and it's something that bothers him. So how about, as something that bothers him, you just don't continue to hammer it on? Like, she should have been like, Grace, you don't like that Joey keeps on saying that you're in love with him and that you don't like any of the people that you're with, and you don't, whether it's true or not, you don't like that he keeps on bringing it up, and you feel the need to defend yourself all the time. What if you have said that people are saying like, well, don't say anything, don't bother with it, like, just like, it's fine, he's right, you'd be annoyed.
And in my opinion, game recognizes game.
Maybe.
Because Grace literally, I think at this point, started playing the game. And because this episode, some of the stuff that she did, I was like, oh, okay, so you're playing the game. She wanted to get to the finals. And I think that they thought that Mimi was the low-hanging fruit to get out. That they would just vote Jessica and Io in and vote and get Mimi out, and not the case.
Not the case. So Josh is talking to Ruben and Kieran, and he says, I don't give a fuck about your apology, you're an idiot. Josh is so good. I'm just like, get him! Like, well, not get him, but like, yeah, like, he is an idiot. They both are idiots, and I think that he's probably just like, why do I have to deal with these dumbasses? Yeah, we love Josh. I love Josh too.
I love
Josh. Love him. Yes, Grace pissed me off too, Jessica. Now that Joy has moved on to bothering someone else, she thinks it's fine. That's why her karma came swiftly.
That's what I was saying.
That's true, right?
She was starting to play the game, and the game bit her. And so, like, if it was like maybe 2 days ago, I would be like, it's not fair. Like, I hate that Joey won. Don't really care. She's also not backing Mimi and Josh to win. So I also fuck her.
She's not?
She's backing Matilda and Sean. Let me see. And it was on Io and Jess.
Oh, interesting. So she's just bitter with the Josh situation, I guess. Okay, well, then Joey now goes to comfort Sean, and because Sean's just like, if I knew that he would be mad, I would never have said it.
He told you.
Exactly.
About 40 times.
So then Sean pulls Josh again, and he's just like, are you doing this to get a rise out of me?
like leave it alone.
Leave me alone. I don't understand what the problem is. So stupid. So Sean then pulls Mimi now to clear the air, because he's cleared it now sort of with Josh. Because Josh reminds him, like, hey, it's not just me that you're bothering here. You're bothering, there's 3 other people that are involved in this, and you are bothering them as well. So he pulls Mimi to clear the air, and she lets him go off too easy. I was like, come on, girl, like, say something. Don't be like, oh, I know you really well, and I know that you weren't doing it to be mean. And it's like, Mimi, you don't know him that well. Like, you might have been here with him for the last 6 weeks, but he's not a good friend to you.
Yeah, nobody's going to let her talk to him or Joey after the show, and I don't think she wants to either. I think she's just trying to keep the peace in the villa. And it kind of sucks because that's what you have to do. Because she's like, they already, well, we didn't get there yet, but go ahead.
So they get it. Oh wait, so she squashed it. She put it to bed. Didn't think that it was. He didn't think it was going to bother anyone. And I didn't like this also, where Mimi agreed with Sean saying that Josh is proud, and that's why he is reacting this way, by him calling him a dummy, and it's his pride that's making him react this way. And I'm like, don't give that to them. Like, that's not what he's actually. Yes.
I think you know how we say that men have ego? I think that's what she was agreeing with, but she doesn't realize that they're making it a negative thing. Rather
they're
than
making it be like, oh, he's only doing this because he has his pride is getting in the way of like taking it lightheartedly, but he would be taking it lightheartedly if he didn't have such a big ego.
Correct. I don't think she realized that that's the way they're trying to spin it, rather than like, yes, my man has pride and he has ego and he should, and you should not get to call him a dummy. I mean, because it's also fair.
Mm-hmm. Kay says even when Jessie was bucking up to Josh at the Grafties, she needed to buck up to her just on the strength of how Jessie was behaving with Josh, and she didn't. All these people are so friggin' annoying. They need someone to put them in their place. They need someone with a mouth. It's very annoying that they are able to get away with some of this stuff. So they get a text. Oh my gosh. And it is how basically they're going to be learning what the public thinks of these relationships. So the first one is, how do we rank this relationship? Who's the hottest couple? So they think it's going to be, in first place, the hottest couple is Ruben and Grace. Second is Josh and Mimi. Third is Joey and Jessie. And third place they got correctly. So I don't know why people think that Joey and Jessie are hot. I don't think Jessie's attractive at all, and neither Joey. Like, actually a 0. I would have 100% put Io and Jess in there for sure. In second place is Kieran and Nicole. People think are the hottest couple. Aren't they hot?
No. I do think people are attracted to Kieran, both his looks and his personality. For me, it's not bad. He's also 22.
And I did love, though, that the hottest couple is Mimi and Josh. They must have all been fuming.
But it's also the truth.
I agree. I mean, I think that Grace and Ruben should be in there for sure. But I think I just don't like them. And I would have taken Mimi and Josh, Grace and Ruben, and Io and Jess for the hottest couples.
But I listened to some English podcasters and they hated Grace. So I don't think Grace came across well to the public. And it's clear that she didn't really like Ruben. So
Jessica says, I laughed out loud when Grace had to leave the podium for the hottest couple question. I mean, I think that she should have been up there, but if you're saying that they don't like her, the public doesn't like her.
She's vain and she has a big head, and it's weird. And there were people who thought that Joey was correct, that she's and that's the only part I was like, I might give you guys the vein, and she thinks she's better than she is and all that stuff, but I don't think she wants Joey.
Mary says that Ruben is what Sean wants people to perceive him. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Rachel said Sean pissed me off saying that there's no way that Mimi should be up there as the hottest.
Oh, he was pissing me off the entire game. The microaggressions that he was throwing out at Mimi and Josh were utterly disgusting. It was utterly disgusting.
Agreed.
And then every time he started getting like, like the public was just hitting, like punching him in the face. I loved it. Loved it.
Me too. Most vain, they thought it would be, first place would be Joey and Jessie. Second would be Grace and Ruben. Third would be Io and Jess. They got the first two correct, but actually Matilda and Sean were the most vain couple. Third most vain. Loved that.
Yep, I loved it.
Most genuine couple. First place they put Kieran and Nicole. Second place Matt and Sean. Third place they put Josh and Mimi. But instead, third place was Jess and Io.
Right.
As most genuine, which I thought was
I
great.
agree. And I was like, yes, I agree. And Jess was so happy. I'm glad she got a win.
And then second place was Mimi and Josh as
Yes.
most genuine. And then Kieran and Nicole were first place there. So I was like, I loved kicking Matilda and Sean off that podium there. Like, get out of here.
Absolutely.
Get out. You're not, your relationship isn't, Matilda. Okay, so worst dressed now. They put Matilda and Sean in the first position. Those highlighter shorts, I guess, were probably part of the culprit here. Second place is Nicole and Kieran, and they put Grace and Ruben in third place. But instead, Jess and Io are in third place. Jesse and Joey are in second place. And Matilda and Sean did get worst dressed couple. And Matilda is pissed because she lends out all of her clothes to everybody, and she's
and Matilda, you know, it's 90% the man you're with. All of them. It was literally, this was a Sean, Joey, and Io thing, not Jesse and
yeah,
Matilda.
the boys brought them down.
It was the boys literally brought y'all down. Sorry.
The least sexual chemistry. So they put Grace and Ruben in the first spot, Jess and Io in the second, Mimi and Josh in the third. The only one that they got incorrect was that Matilda and Sean were the least compatible sexually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why people think that, but I mean, Mimi's not overtly sexual, so maybe that's why, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, they haven't been kissing that much or whatever, so fine. But Mimi wasn't really sexual with anybody. Miss T-Joy is getting her I told you so's in here. She says Grace is not an ally. She just likes black men. I told you to. I've never been a fan of hers. She's one of yours. She's a Virgo. You keep your Virgos.
I mean, I've said it as well, but I just... there was a point where she didn't bother me, but again, now she just, it was time for her to go. Bye.
Well, I'd rather have her have stayed though over some other people. To be
absolutely, but you know, at this point, I can't even be mad at it.
Most likely to cheat, they put Ruben and Grace in the first position, Io and Jess in the second, Matilda and Sean in the third. They got that all kinds of wrong.
Wrong.
They put Grace in and Ruben are third place. Matilda and Sean are in second place. I guess Matilda's cheating on Sean.
No, Sean cheating on Matilda because of Diamante and Lucy. But go ahead.
Oh, but like in real life, though, no.
Oh, in real life, she's ditching that man. I don't even think she's going to cheat on him. She's just going to ditch him.
Yeah,
she should. Yeah.
And in first place is Joey and Jesse. And Jesse was so adamant that there's no way that he would cheat on her and she wouldn't cheat on him and he would never cheat on her.
I stayed with her after Casa. There's no way.
Yeah, right. Next up is who they think is going to stay together for the win. They think Matilda and Sean in first place, Joey and Jesse in second, Mimi and Josh in third. This one is also all types of wrong. They have Nicole and Kieran are staying together for the win. Agreed. Yes. Matilda and Sean also agreed in second place here. And number one, Grace and Ruben are staying together till the end. Sean gets the end.
And I basically was like, yeah, I mean, I would have put Jesse and Joey in there, but they might have came in fourth, but you could have added them. But also, I thought this was a fair list. I could not argue with anybody. I don't know. They are insisting that they're getting across to the public that Josh and Mimi are just coupled up to win the show, and they're coming across wrong. And I was so glad it was shown.
Wait, how can everyone understand but you? How can
because so Josh was saying next one, Josh was saying,
okay, let me say it.
Gonna stand up there, and they were like, well, I think it should be and
got it. Yeah, I remember now. So at least likely to work on the outside is, so number one, they put Grace and Ruben. Number two, they put Jesse and Joey. Three, they put Matilda and Sean. But when they were deciding, so what you're saying, when they were deciding, Josh was like, well, if we take a look at how they ranked some of the other things. So what was the other one that they were using?
The least genuine and who's staying to win and all that stuff.
People that were the least genuine, maybe the other people, like it was the opposite people. So like, the most genuine, you put the least genuine people in there as to be the least likely to work. And thinking that would be the mindset of how people were voting.
Right.
And Sean thought that this was the most inane idea possible.
Yeah.
So dumb. And I'm like, that's actually a very smart way. If you're going to be looking at what the people, how they've been voting, it would be indicative of how you might want to be able to see how they are thinking, right?
Yes.
Because if they're not like, they don't think you're genuine and in like a couple that's going to work,
Correct.
then they might think that you are least likely to be in a couple that works. It just, to me, it makes the logic's logicking.
Yeah. But he's like, oh, the Grafties, they saw the video. The Grafties. And he's like, okay, well, if you're going to bring up the Grafties, I can bring up Casa Amor. You forget I saw that? So did they.
Exactly. And it's funny, like, didn't they both just say that they weren't going to bring this up ever again? And they brought it up again as soon as they had a chance.
Yep.
So in the end, so Jess and Io are in third place for least likely to work. Jesse and Joey are second place, and Grace and Ruben are first place, least likely to work on the outside. I think Jess and Io might actually work.
I think Jess and Io will work on the outside.
I think we should put Matilda and Sean there. That would have been
absolutely.
I think actually what they put down was the right order. To me, anyways.
Yep.
And then, so since they were the least likely to work on the outside in the number one position, they receive a text, and that will mean that Grace and Ruben are going to be dumped from the island.
Now, somebody was saying that in the app, when they were looking at it, at the point that they last saw it, Matilda and Sean were number one.
Interesting. Very interesting. Jessica said you could tell Josh was loving the results after all that they did. Mm-hmm.
Sure was.
They were completely right. If they just had gone fully with what Josh was, surmising, taking the evidence that they have, getting into the mindset of the voters, you would be able to figure it out pretty easily. And he was correct. Anyways, that's the end of 3 episodes. We did it in a pretty good time. We had a little bit of a rant at the beginning, but not bad. Not bad at all. We've got 4 more to do it. We're good. We're almost done.
Yeah, almost. Listen, the season is going to season at this point. Or unseason.
He's gonna
I can hope it becomes season. But
thanks, Kay. Yeah, we had some tangents that are interesting, though. I do like hearing about cultures and people's history and stuff like that. I find it fascinating.
I'm big into ancestry. But yes, so I'm over this show because I'm not sure what they're doing at this point. But getting in their own way. Unseason season. This is worse than season 9. And I'm going to tell you this is worse than season 9. But you know what? Season 9 got a good winner. So I can only hope that we get something very similar because I don't know.
There's not a world where Mimi and Josh are going to win this, though.
I know. Because even with the most genuine, they still came in second. But I mean, if that's my top, if that's my top 3, I'll accept it. If that's my top 3, Kieran, Nicole, Mimi and Josh, and Io and Jess, I will accept that as my top 3, to be fair.
I'll accept that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that Joey's going to get there. Joey and Jesse are going to get in there and kick out Io and Jess.
Mm.
Potentially, actually. Hold on. Who got most genuine?
Those 3. That's the ones I just named.
Didn't you say Io and Jess?
Yeah, wasn't it Io and Jess?
No, it was Matilda and Sean and Josh and Mimi and Kieran and Nicole.
Damn it.
So yeah, anyway.
What was the 3 that they got? It wasn't hot. Best chemistry?
It was hottest, was it? Mimi, Josh, Nicole, and Kieran. No. Most vain.
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe you just misremembered.
Let me see. It was which couple is the most genuine? Says the Instagram.
Oh, sorry. That's what they picked. Jess and Io, Mimi and Josh, Kieran and Nicole. Sorry. Yes. I was just looking at what they guessed in the beginning and
Okay.
taking it as gospel. Yes, you are correct. You are correct.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for the recap. Certain reviews are far better than show and worse than season 9. All right. Yes, Mary, it is BB time. I'm going to go and watch the rest of that episode. Tell me what's going on, Tamika, and share it with our friends.
We got to get on this Bachelorette. We're about a couple episodes behind. I know.
I'll jump in when you're caught up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have to catch up. I have to actually watch it. I haven't heard either way how the season's doing, so I'm not really sure.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I listen, Bachelorette. But today it came out that the UK Love is Blind will debut August 7th, and I'm excited for that. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people of color in there, but if there are any that make it, we will highlight them. So definitely I think I want to cover that. And like I said, I've been busy with work. This is like literally, come to find out, my busy week at work for the entire year. So I literally been working till 10:30 every night, except for tonight because I told them I had to come home to do work, but I'm doing this. So
Thank you.
I will actually try to do some TikToks on Big Brother. I am kind of off on Big Brother a little bit, not because it's not a good season, just because I can't keep up with the feeds because they won't let me rewind.
Yeah, I know. What I've been actually doing when I have to do like recaps, I've been recording feeds so I can go back and watch it. So I just record the Pluto channel for whatever, like 10 hours, and then I'll watch it later.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So if I do that, I've decided Big Brother. If I have any commentary, I will probably do that on my TikTok. So follow me on TikTok at Entertainment in Color, and follow me on YouTube at Entertainment in Color, and on Twitter. I don't know, they taking down people's Twitter accounts, so pray for me because my backup is up. Entertainment Cole Media. But I still have not gotten back my main account, and I know a number of other content creators who have gotten their Twitter accounts taken from them today. So it looked like a lot of people were sharing Love Island content, and I just know a lot of people who got their accounts taken today. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully you get yours back. So for me, just subscribe, like this video. Let us know if you care that Grace got dumped. Who do you want to be in the final 3 or final 4, I guess? Who do you think will be there? Is there any way to save the season? Is there any chance for Mimi to get a win here? Let us know in the comments below. We'll continue this conversation there. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.